Everyone discusses cracked plugins as if it were an ethical debate, but that's a lie and a distraction from the truth. The real story is much darker, and I'm going to show you in this video exactly what can happen if you use cracked plugins on your computer, the stuff which no one is showing you on YouTube. Now, I don't care about anyone's opinions about you should buy the software because it's nice and stuff like that. I don't care about that. I care about the genuinely terrifying reality that most people are completely clueless to. So here is just a quick demonstration plugin that I made in 5 minutes. All it does is just adjust the volume. But pretend it's something cool that you wanted but didn't want to pay for, so you downloaded it from a torrent site. Most people have the attitude, well, it's just an audio plugin. It's contained within my DAW. What's the worst that's going to happen? It's going to blast me with some white noise or something. It can't escape. It's in the DAW. It's not going to get out. Wrong. In fact, a plugin can do anything to your computer that your DAW can do to your computer. So let's have a look at some of the things that I can do with this demonstration plugin in like 2 minutes, just with basic code. So let's pretend I work for the US government on a top secret classified project, but I'm a bit bored at work, so I'm making music at the same time. And here's the crack plugin that I've installed while I'm making music. So I am gonna just work on this document here, but little do I know, the hacker has done something with this plugin here that I don't know about. And this is the hacker's email account. I don't see this. This is the hacker's email account here. I'm just working on my stuff here. So here is the main server cluster, top secret stuff with passwords. Let's copy that. And, what is this? Well, the hacker, obviously I don't see this. This is on the hacker's computer. The hacker now has what I've just copied to my clipboard. It's just come through on his computer. So now he's got the top secret security credential stuff, whatever this is, this pretend top secret stuff. This is top secret financial information. Let's copy that. And let's copy this contingency account with Deutsche Bank with millions of dollars in there. And yep, the hacker is getting all of this come through to his computer. And for this demonstration that I've just set up here, this is actually a live Gmail account, actually on the internet, and the plugin is actually spying on our clipboard and actually sending emails to an actual Gmail address. So here is another scenario. Here is the hacker's email account, which I don't know about, and here are just some files on my computer. And then I go and load the plugin here and see what happens. The hacker has just received an email listing all of the files in that folder on my computer. Now, this is just a rudimentary example, sending the names of documents to an email, but there's no reason why I couldn't just upload all of these files or any files which your DAW has access to, because the permissions for our cracked plugin are derived from the DAW's permissions, and any permissions that your DAW has, this plugin has as well, because it's running in your DAW. So the computer thinks that this is your DAW running, when actually this is the compromised, cracked plugin. And if you've got sensitive information on there, if you've got any kind of private files at all, or those can be leaked very easily indeed to the hacker. Even if you've got encryption turned on, because if you can open files with your DAW, then this compromised cracked plugin can access any of the same files as well. So here's one last example with my cracked plugin. We've got the files on my computer, and if I load that plugin, what will happen to the files? They've all been deleted. So I can delete files, I can access files, I can send those files to some server somewhere. I can do whatever I want with any file on your computer. We interrupt this broadcast to bring you a quick message from our sponsor, me. I just released Curvature 2, and it's a massive upgrade. So I listened to all of the feedback that you guys gave me after having released the original version, and I've managed to integrate a lot of cool new features based upon that feedback. So one of the main points of feedback when it came to the original version was the interface. Some people liked it, some people didn't, some people thought it was a bit complicated and not so intuitive to use. So I've completely redesigned it, and I've also made a new retro mode, which is inspired by the look of some of my favorite vintage analog hardware. The retro mode is super easy to use. You can just click on an algorithm and then twiddle a couple of knobs. It's real simple, and in some of the modes, you've even just got one single knob, so it's not difficult at all. Some people requested look ahead. Well, I've got you covered for version 2 because you can now adjust the look ahead time. Next up, I've added a full brick wall limiter algorithm to curvature. So if you need a limiter, you're covered as well. And that's not the only new algorithm I've added. I've now added the second algorithm to curvature, which has never been done before. So just like Black-Scholes, you're not going to hear this anywhere else because no one has ever done it before and it doesn't exist in any other plugins. So the only way that you can hear this is in curvature, and it sounds absolutely crazy. It's completely bonkers. And what is it? It's a quantum mechanical tunneling algorithm. Now, this is using the exact, precise, academically correct mathematics from quantum tunneling physics, and it's too much to go into now, but I describe it a bit more on my website, and stay tuned for upcoming videos where I'm going to go into all of these things in way more detail. But if you want a sound like this, this is the only plugin which exists which you're going to get this sound in. It's never been done before, and so the same as Black-Scholes, never been done before. So this is curvature. I'm trying to do something unique here, and with version 2, with all of the new UI updates, I think I've achieved that. And just for anyone who's already bought the original version, it's a free upgrade, completely 100% free upgrade if you've already bought Curvature 1, and all of my plugins have 100% free upgrades for life. And if you haven't grabbed Curvature yet, well, you can get Curvature from my website right now. It's live, and if you want a 10% discount, sign up to my mailing list, and for the next week, there's going to be a 10% discount code in the mailing list welcome email. So without any further interruption, let's get back into the video. But so far, we've just been talking about a single raw plugin file. For example, a .vst3 plugin that you drag and drop into your plugin directory, and there's no installer wizard or anything like that. That's the way that I distribute my plugins personally, because there's no random additional bloatware. You just download the plugin and drag and drop it into your plugin directory. But most of these cracked plugins, especially on Windows, they come with installer wizards. And what does that enable if you have an installer wizard? Well, normally when you do this installer wizard and you click next, well, at some point, it's going to ask you to enter a password, your administrator password, so that it can install the plugin. Well, cracked software does this as well. And what happens when you put in your administrator password? We've now granted that software, that installer wizard, or that the software that's being installed, full administrator access to your entire computer. So now you've given full access to your entire computer to some shady crack software you've downloaded from a random torrent site. What could possibly go wrong? Well, here are some of the things going in order from least severe to most severe. So one possible thing, which is actually alarmingly frequent nowadays, is that your computer's just going to get turned into a Bitcoin mining rig, and your electricity bill is going to get run up, and your computer's going to go all slow, and it's just going to earn someone halfway around the world some money using your computer as a Bitcoin mining rig, distributing that across all of the fools who have entered their administrator passwords into this cracked software. So maybe the time that that guy put into cracking that plugin wasn't just out the kindness of his own heart to give you something for free. He actually wanted something, and that's money from your electricity bill mining Bitcoin. So another super common thing is you can just spy on someone, whether that's keylogging everything that they write on the keyboard, whether that's listening to everything from the inbuilt microphone on their computer and spy on every single conversation that you have when you're in earshot of the computer, or whether they're just completely accessing your webcam and streaming that to some server somewhere. So obviously that can result in stealing all of your passwords, hacking into your email account, hacking into all of your accounts that don't have 2FA set up. So now, of course, as well, they've got video of you, they've got audio of you potentially doing stuff that you don't want the internet to see. Maybe they can blackmail you, do some kind of ransom thing that if you don't pay them X amount of money to this Monero address, then they're going to leak all of these things that you don't want people to see on the internet. So if that wasn't bad enough already, probably the worst thing that I can think of that you can do to the computer itself would be to crypto lock the whole thing with some kind of ransomware. So you just go through and silently encrypt all of the user's files, and then once that process is complete, then you just say, haha, I have encrypted everything on your computer, try and load some of your photos, try and load some of your documents, or try and load up some of your projects in Ableton Live or whatever DAW you use. Try and do that, and you won't be able to because I have encrypted all of your documents. And unless you pay me, I don't know, $20,000, $50,000 or whatever via my Monero address, I'm just gonna destroy all of the files, or I'm going to throw away the key so you never get access to them, so your files will all be gone and your computer will be bricked. Now, you might be thinking, well, this guy's just fear-mongering. There's no one cracking plugins on a BitTorrent site who has got the capability to do all this fancy stuff, sci-fi stuff. What is cracking a plugin? It's reverse engineering it and writing new code and then patching that new code into the plugin to modify it such that you bypass the copyright protection restrictions. And so you're writing new code and patching that in. It's no longer the 90s where you just disassemble it and look in assembly code for J and E and you change it to JE. It's more advanced than that nowadays. There's much more advanced copyright protections. So you're writing new code anyway. And so the cracker, you're trusting the cracker to write new code and put that into the plugin. If you've got the skills to crack stuff from Native Instruments and FabFilter, you've got skills. And I could bash out a crypto locker in a weekend. The only thing standing in between skills and you getting scammed is ethics and probability. They're the only two things. Because there's plenty of people with skills. Not everyone's got skills, there's plenty of people with skills. But not everyone has got those bad ethics that are going to actually end up scamming you. Because, for example, I've got the skills to do many of these nasty things, but I'm not an evil person. I've got ethics, and I don't want to end up in prison. That would be incredibly inconvenient being in prison, and I wouldn't be able to make any more updates for my curvature plugin. So I hope you realize how frank and upfront and honest I'm being when I come on here on YouTube and say, as a plugin developer, if you install my plugin, especially with an installer wizard, which I don't do, by the way, because I don't need all of those administrative privileges to offer you a plugin. You can just drag the plugin into the plugin folder. So all of these plugin developers where you're installing their plugins with an installer wizards, if they did what I did and came on YouTube and said, yup, when you enter your administrator password, I can now spy on you. I can now ransomware you. I can now infest you with all sorts of things without you knowing. I can even turn your computer into a Bitcoin mining rig and earn me money and run up your electricity bill, or do all sorts of things that you don't know about. Most people aren't going to come on the internet and say this kind of stuff, but I will, because I make edgy videos like this and I am not afraid of the truth. So quite rightly, you might now be thinking, well, you scared me a bit. Why should I trust you? Why should I now install or buy your plugins? I'm now afraid of installing plugins. Well, you don't have to be afraid of installing plugins from a legitimate source. For people like me who are not anonymous, who show their face, who have their full legal name and identity, their VAT number and their registered business address available publicly on the internet, there's absolutely no way in a million years that I would do even a drop of rat poison in my plugins. I want my plugins to be the most squeaky clean things imaginable. I would get found out so quickly and go to jail not passing go if I did even a hint of any of the nonsense that I've been talking about earlier in this video. There's no way that myself or any other legitimate plugin developer that puts their face or their actual registered company name with actual legal responsibility and a paper trail of people buying your plugin and you actually receive money into a bank account. Like, there's no way that anyone is going to do any of the nonsense that I've been talking about in the video, because they'll just go straight to prison. And especially even just concerning data and data privacy and stuff like this. I'm in the EU. Handling data is a nightmare. You don't want to handle data. Even if you have cookies on your website, you need to put up a banner on your website that this website uses cookies and have warnings about cookies. I don't even have cookies on my website in that way because I don't want to have a cookie banner. So I don't even have cookies on my website. Why would you be a actual non-anonymous legitimate person with their legal name in the internet, like publicly available, and then just infest paid plugins with malware? You're just not going to do it. But a cracker is already demonstrating that they're performing an illegal activity. Cracking a plugin is already illegal, and you downloading it is also illegal as well. But the plugin cracker is demonstrating that they're doing something illegal. And then what is stopping them? This anonymous cracker who is already doing something illegal, just putting additional malware in your plugin for whatever reason, whether it's Bitcoin mining on your computer, ransomware, spyware, any type of thing. Anything that they want to put on their computer, you can put on your computer. Anything that you can imagine, you could just put on your computer. Why wouldn't they use that opportunity when they are already doing something illegal? After knowing what is possible, if you have the administrator password, if you use the installer wizard and then put in your password stupidly for a cracked plugin, you have to be an idiot to watch this video and then go away and install cracked plugins. The world doesn't have a shortage of unethical bad people. Just go on Reddit and look at some of the people on there. It's not like there's a lack of bad people in this world, and it's not like there's a lack of people with skills in this world. The problem is when you put skills and bad people together with lack of repercussions, and then the probability tips over not in your favor, and then you're screwed. So if this is just one thing you take away from this video, regardless of whether you don't care, like, down with capitalism, or software should be a right, or whatever nonsense arguments you want to come up with, irrelevant. You're an idiot if you install cracked software. Done.